What's up, everybody? It's Wombat. As you can see, I have switched over from New World to Palworld right now. So if you like the videos I made for New World, we're going to have more of the same for Palworld. It's going to be a lot about different builds, different pals, and how you should build them, gearing, and of course some of the exploits and bugs that everybody always likes to see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about a couple of the exploits in the game that just make things a little bit easier and are just flat out necessary if you want to do some of the bigger builds in the game and you want to max out your characters. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Butcher build, or the Butcher exploit. And I'm just waiting for a few more refined ingots here to show you what this one looks like. Alright, so what this is going to do is, it's going to let you butcher any pal repeatedly without actually losing them. And what you have to do for this is, you have to have the saddle first for it. So, we're going to build the saddle. I'm going to grab my Anubis to do this, so it takes only a few seconds. You should always have perfectly rolled workers and basically all of your other mobs, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. This first one is an Anubis, and it is perfectly rolled. It has Artisan for 50% work speed, Serious for 20% work speed, Lucky for 15% work speed, and Work Slave for 30% work speed, giving me a work speed of 182 on a base of 84. So this thing flies, and it is super helpful when you are really doing anything in the game. So we make that, we throw our pal at it, and he just cranks these things out for us. So once we have the saddle built, we're going to throw one of our pals we want to butcher into our party, so it's going to be Necromus. We're going to butcher him because we want his materials and we want the chance at his legendary drop. Now you can go out and just kill him once a day and try to get these drops, or this is the other way that you can go about getting the legendary drop. You're going to butcher him, he'll drop some stuff, you basically pick him back up, resummon him and just keep on doing it over and over and over again. You are going to want to get out of the mountain areas for this. You're going to need to be down at ground level. If you try to do it up high, like where my base is right now, it's just not going to work for you. So we will hop down to the lower levels here. Alright, so we're going to get down to ground level. Put on my butcher knife for the meat cleaver. And we're going to take out our Palladius. Or not Palladius. Our Necromus. So he's here, and what we're going to do, we are going to open our menu. We're going to, we want to butcher him. We got to have the butcher knife out. So we're going to hit butcher, and then on the second downswing, after you hear that second downswing hit, you're going to mount it. And that's what's going to save it. So 1, 2, we hit mount, and it glitches out, right? And I'm falling through the world. We hop off, it's going to launch me out into infinity. We're going to come back down to the ground. Summon our pet back. You can see on the ground here, we got all of his stuff. And then if you try to summon him right away again, he'll be glitched. So what you're going to do is you're just going to drop him. And you're going to pick him back up. And he's right back again. So we're going to go 4 for menu. Butcher. Mount. Fall through the world. Bounce back up out of the world. There's all of his stuff falling down. Pull them back in. Drop them on the ground. Pick them back up. Go get your loot. Resummon. And one more time for good measure. And we didn't even fall through the world that time. Just drop him on the ground, pick him back up. Oh, his materials may have fallen through the earth that time. But you can see, we got the precious entrails, we got the ancient civilization parts, and we got the pal metal. So, no legendary drops off of him yet, but if you keep doing it, you will eventually get that legendary drop. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the second most important exploit in this game, and that is the Egg Dupe Exploit. And the Egg Dupe Exploit is important for one major reason. If you want a maxed out level 5 pet, you have to craft 117 of each pet in order to condense them down to the one that you want. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to head over to my other base. Alright, so let's just take a quick look at why we would want to condense down a pet. Alright, so I've got my perfect Shadow Beak here. It is fully leveled, and it has this ability that enhances dark attacks while mounted, and is modified DNA, and it is level 5. You can see my attack right now is 1721 on him. And the key skills you're going to want whenever you're breeding an attack pal like this is you've got to have Legend. It adds 20 attack, 20 defense, and movement speed. You've got to have Musclehead, it's 30%. You've got to have Ferocious, it's 20%. And then you're going to want your Lord of the whatever skill that adds Dark, Lightning, Water, whatever to the mob that you're using. And this is going to be the breeding combination you want to get. So the way you're going to get that is you're going to get these two skills off of, for Shadowbeak, you get them off of Necromus. So you breed Necromus with something else to get something else, and you get the breeding combinations to get this guy right here. I believe it's Necromus. Necromus and something, and it gets you an Astagon, and then you go Astagon and Kitsune to get here. But this takes a little bit of time to get. But once you get it, in order to get the perfect, you have to condense them. And when you get into the condenser, you can see here I've got a level 1 Hucrates, and if I want to condense him, the next level is 16. So I've already put 4 in, and then I have to put 16 in. The next level is 32, and the next level is 64. So you have 117 total, including the one that you want to keep, in order to get to a tier 5 pet. Now, to get the maximum build damage out of my Shadowhawk, or Shadowbeak, I'm going to want to run a perfect Shadowbeak with 4 perfect Hucrates. That means I need 4 times 117 Hucrates in order to make that happen. And the reason you do that is because he has a skill called Dark Knowledge. So Dark Knowledge basically adds to dark damage of anybody that's in your group. And so that all stacks up with your Shadowbeak. And every level you go up, Dark Knowledge goes up, so it brings his total damage number up. So, how are we going to do that? Well, as you can see over here, I've just got a couple of Hucrates breeding up a storm to get me eggs. Alright, so the Egg Dupe. We're going to give credit to Jarqualis for this. He's the one that figured this out and showed me. It does only work if you're playing on the servers or multiplayer. If you're doing like a local save, there isn't enough lag to actually make this work. So it's only for people who are playing the online version of the game. As you can see here, I've got an inventory with a bunch of dark eggs. These are Hucrates for my effort to condense them all to make a big shadow build. And this is what happens. We're going to right click on this egg and hold it. Then we're going to left click and hold, and we're going to drag it over, and we're going to tab. We're going to open the egg. We're going to right click and hold. We're going to left click and X. And you can see it just popped back up in my inventory. So we're going to open it, and it's a Vanguard Swift Workaholic. And it's right back here again. So we're going to right click and hold, left click, drag it out, tab, right click and hold, left click X. And it just pops right back in, and it's going to be the exact same mob again. Vanguard Swift Workaholic. Do it again. Now, if you're doing this at a good pace, you can get maybe 6 a minute done, maybe 7. So you basically need 20 minutes of just sitting here doing this per mob that you want to get to the top level. And if you have an entire build you want to make, that is 5 times 20 minutes. So 100 minutes of just sitting here doing this after you have bred the perfect version of your mob. So this is not fast, but it is way better than the alternative of just waiting for all of your mobs to breed 600 eggs for you to get this done. So that time actually I didn't do it correctly, and you can see it didn't come back, so now I have to sub in a new egg. If you screw it up and it doesn't come back, you can break this and your egg will drop on the ground. And then you can just rebuild the incubator and keep going with the egg that you had. Or, like me, if you're like me, you've got a bunch of eggs being produced as well, because I don't want to just sit here and do this all day. So when I screw up, like this one I did not actually do correctly, right, I'll just go whatever. I've got extra eggs, I'll just keep going, just to keep the rhythm going, and not have to constantly be breaking and rebuilding. So in the end, what I'm hoping for here is I'm going to take my Eucrates that has Vanguard and Stronghold Strategist, because those are the 2 abilities that help me, and I'm going to click on him, and I'm just going to go and take 16 of these guys, and then we're going to look and make sure I didn't put any of my perfect ones in there, and we're good, and you condense. So now, that is a level 2 pal. And what is the difference? What is this doing for me? Right, so when I go to my level 2 Eucrates, and we click on him, he has level 3 Dark Knowledge now. So all in a team increases all attack power of Dark Pals. So the reason I'm using this is I have Shadow Beak. So let's just take him out of the equation for right now. Alright, we're just going to drop him on the ground. And look at Shadowbeak. So Shadowbeak is a level 5, so he is a fully leveled, fully upgraded pet. And he enhances dark attacks while mounted, so any dark attacks you do are enhanced, and we want to enhance that further with our Eucrates. So right now I have 70% damage increase on passive skills. That's Legend, Lord of the Underworld, 20/20, 30, and 20. So this is actually more, but for whatever reason Legend doesn't show up, or it's not Legend, sorry, Lord of the Underworld doesn't show up, because it's dark damage increase. I don't know why it doesn't show up. One of the glitches of the game. But when I look up here it says 70%. So let me pick up the Eucrates. Right, he's now in my party. And we go up here, and my attack is now 83%. And you can see my attack went up. So, my attack is at 83% because this skill adds 10%. And then every single level that you go up, it's going to add points. So, I've gone up two of the level 3. So actually it starts at 11%, sorry. Level 2 gets you to 12%, level 3 gets you to 13, then you'll get 14 and 15 when you get to the top level. So as you stack these, you'll have 15, 15, 15, and 15 for an extra 60. Plus the extra, it's 90, 110, 20, 130, 140, 150. So that is 150% extra damage that you can do when you combine these pals into one big party. And that's on top of the huge damage increase you get from just making it a tier 5 to begin with. So if you don't know, if you use a level 1 Jet Dragon in the final tower boss, it'll shoot the boss for around 11 to 15 damage per missile. If you use a level 5, it's going to hit for anywhere between 250 and 350 per missile. That's a huge increase. You're talking 20 to 25%ish, or 20 to 25x damage for going to these higher leveled mobs. So this is, without a doubt, the most important thing you can do in the game if you want to learn how to, if you want to be able to do extra damage. It is absolutely a glitch, and it is something that they just need to come up with a better solution for than what they have right now. Breeding 600 pals to be able to do this is not a realistic solution. So hopefully this is helpful to all of you. And yeah, we'll get more to you as we figure more stuff out. If you like this, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to be putting out a whole bunch more videos later. Thanks.